Hi guys, and welcome to Petrolheads London. And if you've not seen this before or tuned in before, I'm Tom and this is my channel Petrolheads London, where I talk about my car, motorbike and other experience I have through borrowing cars, bikes and events, etc. This is my weekly series 5 at 5. Quite simply, 5 minutes at 5 PM every Wednesday, talking about some of the hot topics or just general stuff around cars and bikes. So the first thing to note is please remember the first person to comment below will get a shout out on next week's video. Last week's was Malcolm Brew, who was commenting around my dechroming of my F-Type. Now thank you for your support in that. I agree, it is one thing that needs doing. There has something actually happened to the F-Type this week, which there is an update coming around that. So that might be on hold slightly at the moment. But let's talk about some of the car news. So for me, we had Monaco Grand Prix this week, one of the biggest Grand Prix in the calendar, or one of the most sort of with the biggest razzmatazz and what looks like lots of money thrown at it. But it was getting a lot of criticism this week about being boring. Now we know that Monaco is very difficult for overtaking and therefore doesn't seem to have much shifting in places from the grid from the start. However, this week's, I think you saw kind of a bit of a change in that. Also in F1 stuff that's going on this week, Hamilton still getting stick for not having signed his contract. Now, I've been very fortunate to have been to several F1 events and met Hamilton, and you know what? He doesn't come across in real life as arrogant as maybe he is quite often perceived. But his contract is rumoured to be delayed because of the sheer amount of money. £40 million. Well, it's a nice job if you can get it, and I know many of us would quite like that job too. So is he worth it? Do you know, I still think he's one of the best racing drivers we've seen of our time. And well, whether you can argue whether this amount of money is worth it within motorsport is another discussion. But for me, I still think he is one of the very, very best drivers we've got. And maybe in real life, not as arrogant as he actually comes across, I think, a lot of the time. So, on to motorbike news. It's a really exciting week for motorcycling. It's the Isle of Mann TT qualifying this week. And we've seen, well, some bad news is McGuinness isn't there this week. The good news is there's some really exciting stuff going on in qualifying. Now, qualifying this week and next week is the actual races. If you haven't watched the Isle of Mann TT before or don't know where it is, the Isle of Mann is a small island off the coast of the UK and it is a road race. It's incredibly dangerous, but it is also a fantastic spectator event. You get so up and close to the action, it's unbelievable. I've been, here's a couple of my video links here, on several occasions, and I must say it's not only is the trip there, but the atmosphere there is great. It is a dangerous race. Unfortunately, people do lose their lives and there are quite often casualties as a result of it, because it is, I mean, I've ridden around the roads. It's just the normal road like you and I ride on day to day, but they're then doing 130 mile an hour lap time of the entire island average, which is unbelievable. So anyway, keep an eye on that next week. Definitely one to be watching. My latest video, the Lotus Evora video, which went live last Friday. Thank you so much for all the support and comments that everybody's given me. It is absolutely flying, so I do really appreciate that. Keep commenting below. Hopefully there's lots more of this to come. But yeah, I'm just overwhelmed by the response on it. And I think it's really good to be able to show the comparison, the juxtaposition of different cars, which aren't always 100% comparable, but I think give a good view of what's available on the market and what the choices are for people. Final thing, bike kit. So today, for the more eagle-eyed of you, might notice I'm a little bit bedraggled. I'm just looking at the time, so I'm running out of my 5 o'clock. But I went out on my bike today and my gloves are sopping wet. I went to go and get the S1000 serviced and ended up in torrential rain. I don't like riding in the rain. I'm a bit of a fair weather biker, but let's face it, we enjoy riding in good weather. And that got me thinking, because everything kind of leaked. What I want to know for next week's video is, what is your choice of kit for the summer? So I often struggle with trousers for long distance. So I wear rucker trousers when I'm doing weather like today, which is horrific. But actually what I'm after is a real lightweight trouser, and jeans that I normally wear. When I go on this European trip I'm going at the end of the summer, they're just too hot with their Kevlar lining. So what would you choose? Really keen on the comments to hear, what's your recommendation for a good sort of like quality light summer riding trouser. Anyway, I'm over my 5 minutes. Thank you for watching 5 at 5. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel for plenty more car and bike content to come. Please remember to give a thumbs up and comments below. I try and reply to everything. Cheers.